hasn't this administration created a magnet? Haven't you given the Haitians and a million more immigrants who you had an encounter with since Joe Biden came into office, haven't you given them a reason to believe there's a reasonable chance if they come into this country, they'll end up being released into the country and have months or perhaps years to stay here?
Chris, this is nothing new. We've seen this type of irregular migration many, many times throughout the years. I don't know if Governor Abbott said the same thing in 2019 when there were more than 1 million people encountered at the southern border.
People have to understand that Homeland Security in this regard, particularly all the things that fall under Homeland Security, CBP, that they are law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not lawmakers. And so he's actually right when a lot of this falls on Congress. If Congress wants to make laws, which is what Congress does, rather than blaming the people who enforce the laws that they have made or have failed to repeal and make new ones, you know, it really doesn't fall as much upon CBP and Homeland Security, and even, you know, even the executive branch, as much as it does on Congress for not acting. And you and I have talked about this, and I think we agree that Congress has dropped the ball with in terms of reforming our immigration laws. Now, in terms of some of this that we see at the border and the large numbers, Mayorkas is also correct that we've seen, you know, spikes in the past. We've seen it in 2014, we saw it in 2011, we saw it in 2019. Yes, more people are coming now. And I do agree that some of this is because they're like, the Trump administration was going to be cruel. This administration is going to be more welcoming. I do believe that rumor has gotten around.
For sure. I don't know about cruelty. But
no, definitely I know about cruelty.
I do know.
That's what they say. That's what the migrants say.
Yeah, but the idea is, like, it's really obvious. Like, if you're going to break our laws, this is your best chance, because you couldn't do it as easily under the last guy. But the truth is, like, Trump didn't arrest illegal immigration, as you mentioned. In 2019, you had these big spikes. So like there's so much more work to be done. But the reality, like the reality is, like, these people have no right to be here, and they think they can get away with it. They know they can get away with it because Biden's in office and this is their best shot.
That's not true. Number one, because as Mayorkas stated, which is true, is applying for political asylum is legal. That's a legal process. Many of our greatest Americans have been political refugees, especially after we just said we're going to let 95,000 political refugees come into our country, and hundreds of thousands have gone to other countries. We have said, yes, we accept political refugees. Other political refugees come to this country, and all of a sudden we're going to act like, you know, applying for political asylum is illegal? No, that's a legal process.
Well,
now,
it is illegal to cross the border.
Hold on.
Let me just make one point only on this. You can apply for asylum in the United States outside of the United States. That is the legal process for it.
Right. So 30,000 migrants who came to the southern border, some of them will get political asylum, and some of them are deserving. There are others who are not. Just like we saw in Afghanistan, just like we'll see in other parts of the world, people will apply for political asylum. And the other thing is, some of this is class-based. You know, somebody who's a wealthy person in Ukraine, they may know the process. They may be able to go to an embassy and say, hey, I want to apply for political asylum.
Right.
A poor migrant who comes from Haiti may not know that process, may not know where to go, how to go about it. They think you show up at the border and you say, if I go to Haiti, I'm going to be prosecuted.
Can I jump in? Can I throw one thing down here? They're coming up mostly from Chile and Brazil, most of the Haitian migrants. Right. And when they get to our border, have you seen the pictures? There are like hundreds of Chilean ID cards that have been thrown out. They're on the border. They're of all these Haitian migrants. They're just like on the ground. They don't want to be carrying their Chilean identification when they cross into the border, because if they are, then Border Patrol will be able to establish they already have refugee status in Chile. So they're trying to claim refugee status in the United States. They already have refugee status in Chile. This is a game. I mean, they're gaming our system.
No, so there are some obviously who don't qualify, but that doesn't mean that you can't go through the process and try to qualify for political asylum. So to say that that's some sort of illegal process or they're doing something that's illegal is not true. That is our situation. That is our process.
I guess
if you want something, it's not upon Mayorkas to change that. If you want this, and this is the thing that people had with some of the decisions that the Trump administration made, is that they were trying to govern. When you make laws, that's the job of Congress.
Yes.
So the failure is not really, in my opinion, it's not even the Trump administration. It's not the Biden administration. It's Congress. It's not Mayorkas. It's Congress for not establishing immigration reform. Our immigration, how many times do we have to hear these people every Sunday show?
Right.
There's somebody who says our immigration system is broken, but no one wants to fix it.
Okay,
people don't want to get in a room and talk about it and fix the process.
I agree with you. The system itself should be fixed, but there are some basic things. I mean, the law is that it is illegal to violate our borders' integrity, and we have an agency that's tasked with preventing illegal border crossing. That is Customs and Border Protection, ultimately under DHS. In other words, Mayorkas has an obligation to ensure the integrity of our border and to keep people out of the country. If you want to claim asylum, you have a legal right to do it. The illegal thing is to cross into the United States and then claim asylum. Your asylum claim is legal, but your entry into the United States is illegal. And so for now, all I'm wanting is Mayorkas to do his job. That's it.